Hey there, future educators. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Coach Asha, and today we're going to dive into a topic that's super important if you're considering a career in teaching, the difference between language terminology in public schools and in independent schools. Knowing this lingo can help you stand out in interviews and navigate your teaching career more confidently. So grab a notebook and let's get started. Let's start with some basics. Public schools are funded by the government, and they're often referred to as state schools in some regions. They follow state-mandated curriculums and are accountable to school districts. Independent schools, on the other hand, are privately funded through tuition, donations, and endowments. They have more freedom in terms of curriculum and teaching methods. They're sometimes called private schools in general conversation, but not all private schools are independent schools. Then there's Title I. This refers to a federal program that provides funding to schools with high numbers of students from low-income families. You might hear terms like Title I school or Title I funding. It's all about supporting schools in disadvantaged areas. And of course, there's the Common Core. These are academic standards that outline what students should know at each grade level. It's a big deal in public education and something you'll definitely want to be familiar with. Now, let's switch gears to independent schools. You'll notice some key differences here. Instead of an IEP, you might hear about an ISP, or Individualized Student Plan. It's similar in purpose, but tailored to the specific philosophies and resources of the independent school. Another term you'll hear is advisory program, or advisement. In independent schools, this refers to a system where students are assigned to an advisor who supports their academic and personal growth throughout the year. It's more personal and mentorship driven than what you might see in a public school. And instead of talking about Common Core, independent schools might refer to their curriculum framework or educational philosophy. These schools often create their own unique curriculums based on their values and educational goals, whether it's a focus on experiential learning, STEM, or the arts. When it comes to job titles, you might see some differences too. In public schools, you have guidance counselors who help with academic and emotional support. But in independent schools, you might see a dean of students or a director of student life, focusing not just on academic support, but also on extracurricular activities and student well-being. You'll also see terms like head of school instead of principal. This person is the chief executive of the school, overseeing not just the academic side, but the entire operation, including fundraising and community relations. Here's another term that's different. In a public school setting, you'll likely go to the teacher's lounge to get away. But in an independent school, it's often called the faculty lounge. It's not just a place to take a break, it's a space for collaboration and sometimes even professional development. You'll often find teachers discussing student progress or sharing teaching strategies. So keep in mind, it's more than just a spot for your coffee break. Another big difference is the language used to describe community culture. Public schools often talk about parent involvement, while independent schools might use the term family engagement, reflecting a deeper level of collaboration between the school and the families. And instead of just clubs or extracurricular activities, independent schools might talk about co-curricular programs, highlighting that these activities are seen as an essential part of the student's overall education, not just an add-on. So how do you use this information to your advantage in an interview? If you're transitioning from a public school background, be sure to translate your experience into terms independent schools use. For example, if you've worked on developing IEPs, mention how you've supported individualized student growth and how that could translate into managing ISPs at independent schools. And don't be afraid to use their language when describing your teaching philosophy. If you're passionate about fostering a close-knit classroom community, talk about your commitment to family engagement and building a supportive advisory system. Understanding the differences in language between public and independent schools can really set you apart as a candidate. It shows that you've done your homework and that you're ready to fit into the unique culture of independent schools. So, start incorporating this lingo into your resume, cover letter, and interviews, and watch how it boosts your confidence and your chances. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe and download that free independent teacher bundle. Hope to see you soon. Let's make this next teaching job your best one yet.